Hello! Today I'm going to introduce to you watercolor paints. So here's your color wheel. We will be doing that later. I'll just show you. This is my son's prang. This is very good for beginners. I used this when I was in college, and as I also began my watercolor journey. So it comes with a brush, but I didn't use the brush. You will have pans for easy lifting of paint and a mixing palette. Here you go. You can also have watercolor tubes. They come in 8, 16, 24 tubes. You don't really need much. This is Faber-Castell. This is student grade. I'm pretty sure that there's student grade watercolor tubes in the Philippines too. And of course, you need your mixing palette. This is a large one. You can always have small one. You can have a ceramic plate instead of a mixing palette. So I usually put or squeeze out my paints in the smaller wells. So today we're going to use the basic colors, yellow, red, and blue. So when squeezing out paints, I advise you to be gentle. And sometimes they have foil to cover, or before we had to push a pin through it, and then eventually the paints will spill out. But please be extra careful in opening your tube paints if you are using tube paints. Okay. So this is my flat brush. I seldom use flat brush for watercolor, only when I do washes, only when I wet my paper. Okay, and this is a good size. This is about 3/4 inch. I can't see the number. Okay, and I have my round brushes. This is my biggest. This is 12. Okay, I like using 12 because it lifts much water. Okay, this is a little bushy. Let me put a little water. So it's supposed to look like this. Okay, it has a pointed tip. Okay, so you really don't need small brushes because you can use the tip of your large brushes. The next is 10. This is a size 10. This is new. It's still covered with a straw. I don't really put it back because the tendency is to have the bristles not go all in, and so you have an extra bristle out, and it's kind of distracting. So that's 10. I also use 8, number 8. These are all student grade brushes, and I don't use sable hair or any animal hair. These are all synthetic because you can just imagine how they take the hair off. And this is 4. Okay, for my little shadows or shading or details. And if you have, this is 2. So to make very fine details. So there you are. The basic to have is these 3. 10, 8, and 4. There. Okay, so let's start. So let's begin. So I'm using my number 8 brush. Make sure that you have a cup of water for washing. There. And a tissue for wiping your brush. Let's start with red. We're going to do the 3 primary colors first. So wet your brush, lift a little paint, and then apply the paint. You don't have to be as fast as I am. You can do it as solemnly as you want, but make sure that you only apply maximum of 2 strokes or 2 applications. Otherwise, the paper will bulk or be fibrous. Next, we do blue. Let's wash our brush first. Clean brush. Let's lift a little paint. And then just enough. Okay, we count 1, 2, 3, and then we paint our blue here. There you go. I like 8 because it allows me to paint quite a large area without even going back to lift more paint. So let's go now to yellow. Oh my, I should have started with yellow. We have to start with the light colors first. Otherwise, the water in your cup would be dark. But it's okay. My water's still a little clean. Let's do yellow. I would also recommend using 2 cups. One is for washing and one is for using the water. Okay, here now we're going to mix the primary colors to make secondary colors. Yellow and red. Wash your brush. Make orange. I think the yellow paint is a little weak. So sometimes it's like that. Even if it's one brand, some pigments are weak. So you have to add a little more yellow. Let's add a little more yellow. So you can do this by eye, okay, to make the true color orange, or you can make it, my classmates before counted dots, but it's better to mix colors by eye. Let's mix them first before we apply them. Now let's make green. Green is blue and yellow. Again, the yellow's a little weak, so we have to add more. Let's add some more. There. You don't have to worry about making so much because watercolor is water soluble, and you can always leave that, and then when you come back to your painting you can just wet those dried up paint and use them again. So I think that's okay. Let's go now to, let's make purple. Purple is red and blue. There you go. The blue is quite strong. Needs more water. Okay, now let's apply it to our color wheel. So we choose the middle between red and blue. It's purple. Some paints don't make a brilliant purple or real purple. No, that's okay. But I'm pretty sure that the branded watercolor paints do purple, make purple well. Okay, next. Let's do orange. It's between red and yellow. There. And then let's do green. There. Okay, now we mix the tertiary colors.